All right. Hello, everybody. I am back. Feels like I've been away for a little while here, but I'm almost back. I'm just back temporarily. So, anyway, welcome back to me also.
Well, you
I
have been
wanted,
on, John. It
what's
has
that?
been a minute.
It has, yeah.
Good to see you.
So, hopefully, Brady took care of everybody last week. Hopefully, that went good. He, he,
Brady, Brady who?
he seemed to be optimistic, and we're about to bring a lot more people into this group through ClickBank, and all of that's going really good. And what we had discussed was with like you guys are up to a certain speed here, and you're gonna like blow up when all these new people come in with all the beginner questions, and we got to deal with that somehow. So I think what we'll probably do, I don't want to add more calls. I don't want to add more calls during the week. But I think what we'll do is we'll probably dedicate like 1 week of the month to beginner stuff. And that way, if you've got beginner questions, you can hop in on that and get up to speed on it, and everybody will be at the same level. And then with the new AIO, the AI optimization, I think that is going to probably justify a call in itself. So what I'm thinking there is to do another call. So we might split the weeks up for topics. So having a beginner call during the week, during 1 week, a call about AIO and any kind of optimization, including SEO on that week, and then the other two for our basic marketing and all that good stuff. And I think that would be okay because I feel, and I don't know if this is coming through with you guys, but I feel like I'm covering the same stuff over and over in a lot of different times. And I think it would be more beneficial to everybody if we had like these different pockets of conversations going on to expand everybody's knowledge. Because if you guys keep coming back to the call and I'm keeping repeating myself, that's not going to be of value to you. So this will allow us to broach out and move on, even if you're not ready, because what happens is sometimes you'll hear a conversation that you're not ready for, but you weren't aware of. And the fact that now that you're aware of it, it can percolate, and then at some point in the future, when you're ready for it, then you'll hear it. And I don't know, like I've heard this over and over with people on the call. They're like, I'll say something and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And I'm like, really? We've talked about that every week for the last 2 years. But it's like when you're ready to hear things, you hear them. So the idea of prepping you for things that you're going to need in the future. So in the back of your mind, it's implanted. And then at some point you'll say, oh, okay, I get it now. And I think that will help the whole group as a whole move on and advance and hopefully make more money. That's what it's all about, right? So, and speaking of which, I truly believe, I think there's still people in the group that haven't figured out how they're going to make money yet. And that is okay. Maybe you're trying something and maybe it's not working. Um, that happens a lot. I've done that myself. I've been in a lot of things that, I'd go, oh, wow, I'm spending a lot of time here and not generating any income from it. And sometimes it's just the wrong thing to do. When you fall back on your analysis and you look at it and, you might discover, well, that's not really a profitable market. Or maybe it's not big enough. Maybe the market is not big enough, or maybe it's oversaturated. Like with SEO, that's why I'm out of SEO now. It's not that SEO wasn't a good thing. It's not that SEO stopped working. It is oversaturated. The when I went into SEO, it was like so easy. Everybody needed it. Nobody knew how to do it. And you show up and you're a superhero. Well, now it's just that whole industry is just riddled with fraudsters and everybody claiming they know how to do it and everybody's getting burned left and right. It's like that's no longer an environment I want to be involved with. So it's moving to greener pastures. I have no problem picking up my bag and moving. You know, when the landscape turns bad, I've done that over and over and over. There's been I can't even count how many businesses and opportunities and things I've been involved with throughout my life, and most of them I'm not involved with anymore because they expired. You know, it's like milk. You can buy milk and put it in your refrigerator. It's going to expire. It doesn't mean you need to keep it. Eventually, it's going to start to stink and you need to throw it out. Business is no different. If it expires, acknowledge the expiration and pass it into the trash. Move on. Go buy a new bottle. So, the point of all this is right now, there are some new, fresh bottles of milk on the shelf ready for the taking. And they all have the label on them that starts with A and ends with I. AI is massive opportunity. And whether there's so many different angles that you could pick up with it. The the easiest one that, and this is kind of self-serving on my part because it helps me, but the easiest one that I think that you guys could pick up and run with is white labeling quantum and just changing the tools to your industry, and you've got a unique product. You don't have to develop the product, it's already developed. You just stamp your name on it, put some new tools in it. I think Gina and Linda can attest to the fact that making these tools is pretty easy, especially with the script that I've given. And you can make literally tools for any niche, any industry, and you don't even have to know what the tools are. All you have to do is go to Perplexity or ChatGPT and say this: I'm working in this industry. I would like to create some GPT tools to solve some problems for the people in this industry. Give me a list of the tools that would be the most beneficial. It'll tell you what the industry needs. And then you can take that list and you can take it over to the script that I made and you can put it in and say, please make me a GPT tool for this. And it will give you the code. You paste it into God mode, and now you have a new tool. It's really literally that simple. And now you have a very valuable commodity to sell into your industry. This could work for anything. I mean, this could work for hypnotherapists. This could work for people that do diet coaching. Almost any coaching thing that is out there, you could create GPTs to actually do the coaching for you. Like, let's say, let's say you want to be a diet specialist. I can attest to there is a lot of people that are out there that could use losing a few pounds, right? This industry is riddled with new prospects every day. Every day, for whatever reason, somebody decides they need to lose weight. And when I say somebody, I'm talking thousands. Thousands of people are discovering health issues. They're discovering mobility issues. They're becoming aware that, maybe they got an issue. They're, and we have different seasons. I'm just using diet as an example. There are seasons that push people to diets multiple times a year. One of them is summer, bikini season. Everybody all of a sudden like, oh shit, how am I going to look in that? And all of a sudden they're alerted to a problem and now they're going to spend some money, right? Then you have the holidays. Oh my God, I know I'm going to pack some pounds on for Thanksgiving. Maybe I should take some off prior to. And then you got New Year's, these things called resolutions. I would say a good chunk of the New Year's resolutions are to get healthier. You could have a suite of tools that could do that. You could go in and you could say, uh, hey, AI, if I were to be a diet specialist and I wanted to offer diet recipes and health tips and all of this, what are the most popular diets out there? And it would probably tell you keto, carnivore, South Beach. It will list them all off. You don't have to be an expert in it. It will tell you everything you need to know to be an expert. So it'll give you the list of all the categories. Then you can go back to the tool thing, the tool script, and say, could you please build me a list that will give me recommendations for the keto diet? How about keto recipes? How about a keto grocery list? How about the do's and don'ts of keto? How about what not to eat on a keto plan? And you could create all of these tools, and that could be in your keto box. And then you take the exact same tools and you make them for the South Beach diet, and you make them for the carnivore diet, and you know all these other diets that it listed off. And now you have a suite of tools for every potential diet out there. I mean, I'm just brainstorming right now with you guys, but the opportunities are limitless to do this. And again, now you have a suite of tools that you can sell into a hungry market. There's no reason for you to be sitting there going, business looks grim. There's nothing for me to sell. There's no opportunity out there because there's massive opportunity everywhere. I just off the cuff brainstormed up an idea that you could potentially make thousands or tens of thousands of dollars a month with out of thin air. Sue, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question about Quantum AI because I'm actually in just a little bit here. I'm going to be doing an alignable thing on ideal customers and referral partners. Is there already a link? I know you have build a buyer, but is there one of them in there already that someone could go in and say, who is my ideal customer? Here's what I offer, and ideal referral partner. That would just be so huge for anyone. I
For
mean,
okay, so you talking about specifically the tool for alignable.
well, alignable people have to put on their profiles, they have to choose the tags for their ideal customer and their ideal referral partner. So let's just talk about customers because I'm just doing a workshop in a few minutes about this. But is there already a tool in there that anyone could go in and say, here's what I offer? I'm in construction, trades, and services. I offer relationship marketing, coaching. Who's my ideal customer? Is there a tool in Quantum AI already?
Yeah, you could use the build a buyer tool.
Well, I tried that, but it just gives me a um like one person. Like it's just like here's a 35-year-old man that something. So
Yeah,
maybe I did something
yeah.
wrong.
What you would do in here is you would do multiple. What you do
Oh,
is the target segment and the product. The product might remain the same. Like the product might be whatever the product is, and then you might have these different target segments. So, like for instance, I know you've got somebody that does dog boarding.
yes.
So, dog boarding might be the product, and the segment might be dog boarding companies. That's totally different than somebody that wants to board their dog. Does that
Hmm.
does that make sense?
Yeah. So if that person said they want to know who their ideal customers are, like who is my ideal customer that I need to market to, they would put in, what if they don't know who it is?
If
Sounds
they,
like the previous tool, John, the one that you just put in your market, and then it gives you the ranked from
yeah, the
1 to
segment,
10.
the
I forget
segment,
what it's called.
yeah, market segmenter.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's another one that you could use is market segmenter, which it's literally the first tool in the ACT tools. And that was a great suggestion that you made. Several people have made the same suggestion that I should put all the ACT tools in a folder.
Yeah,
They're
for
not
sure.
like, because we got a lot of tools now. So I think I probably will do that. I'll put all the image and video tools in one folder, the ACT tools in one folder. But this market segmenter tool, this will give you the different segments. So you could put in, dog boarding or kennels or whatever, and it would give you the different segments.
I see.
And then from there, but this is something like we yesterday we talked to somebody from Alignable about potentially making tools for them. We could actually create a specific tool for Alignable members to create their profile.
Yeah,
Could
right.
create their whole profile, give them all the stuff that they need, and then they just go plug it in.
Well, ideal customer, people don't know who their ideal customers and referral partners are. And I'm going to be promoting everybody gets this today.
Yeah.
So I want to show them here's where you would go to find out who your ideal customer is and referral partner. And then all the marketing stuff obviously is already there.
Gotcha. Yeah. So with ACT, you never go to the build a buyer first. In ACT, you always do your segmentation first. You pick the most profitable segment, and that's what the market segmenter is for. That one basically gives you all your market segments so you can decide, okay, this is the profitable segment I want to focus on. So I'm going to go with that one. And then you take that and you take that over to the build a buyer, and now you figure out, okay, who's my buyer for that segment?
Okay.
So it all those tools, starting from market segmenter, all of these are all ACT tools.
Yeah, that should be in folder. And then you don't have anything yet for someone to figure out who their ideal referral partner is. So the dog boarder, her ideal referral partner is a veterinarian, right? Because
Yeah,
all their customers have a pet. So
yeah.
you don't have that in here yet, right?
So in that, that's the same thing. You could use the build a buyer. So let's say as far as your market segment, it could be veterinarians. And then over here, you could put boarding kennels for your product.
Okay.
So they're not necessarily going to buy, but they are the perfect referral. So it could do that job for you.
Okay.
You
Thank
just
you.
have to kind of think of, okay, who am I focused on? And this is an important thing to understand. Sometimes the person that you're trying to market to isn't always a buyer. Sometimes they're a referral partner. Like I talk about this, I go hunting for referral partners. And what I'm looking for is somebody that's got my market audience already in their database so I can do a webinar with them. I can turn them into an affiliate. So an affiliate is the same exact thing as a referral partner in Alignable. So think about them as that is your customer. That's who you're trying to convince. And what I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to sell them anything, but I'm trying to sell them on the idea that they're going to promote me and make a bunch of money. It's the same thing. When you're trying to influence someone to make a decision, that could be considered a sale. So when you're talking about build a buyer, it doesn't necessarily have to be a purchaser. You could use build a buyer to identify your partners, your referral partners. Just think about the semantics of what you're doing just slightly differently. But you are making a sale. If you're trying to convince someone to do something of any nature, that in one way or another is a sale, even if money is not transacted. So, I mean, that goes as far as into the dating world. If you're trying to get somebody to go on a date with you, that's a sale. You are trying to make a sale. And, if you don't communicate properly, you're not going to close the deal. It's the same thing. So you could use these tools. You just have to think of the semantics differently. It's not always a buyer. but you're still trying to convince them. So like think about that. For me to get a referral partner to say yes, I have to know how to communicate with them. That's where the ACT program comes right back into play. So I need to know what's important to them. I need to know what problems they've experienced. I need to know what they're thinking. And that's where the Build a Buyer tool comes in. Another tool that might be really good is the WizGat tool. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to play with that or not, but WizGat stands for what is so good about that. And that comes back from the 70s when uh, they were doing infomercials for the first time. And I think his name was Ron Popeil. He was bringing people on that had great inventions. They didn't know how to sell these things to save their life, right? They had great stuff, but they had no idea how to communicate value. And this guy would bring them onto his TV show in an infomercial in 30 minutes. You've got somebody that is going to present their product that's not a salesperson. I mean, that sounds like a recipe for disaster, right? But he would control the environment. He would bring them on, he would introduce them, pass a little bit of authority onto them, tell them how great they were for inventing this really cool thing. And then he would say, okay, tell me about your widget. And they would say something and he would stop them. As soon as they said the thing about it, he would stop them. He wouldn't let them ramble. And he would say, tell me, what's so good about that? And that would break their random mumbling, and they would talk about now the benefit. And as soon as they got the benefit clearly stated, he would stop them again to keep them from rambling. And he'd say, well, tell me what's so good about that. He would just whiz-gat the shit out of them. That's all he would do is he would just whiz-gat, whiz-gat, whiz-gat. And in a 30-minute thing, they became a master salesperson of their own product, and they sold millions of dollars worth of product doing this. That formula worked like magic. So as I was thinking about that, I've talked about that many times over the years, that WizGat formula. And I think Craig Deswell actually had that guy come and do a talk in one of his events several years back. And I thought, why don't I build a tool, a WizGat tool? And it's really cool. You put in one thing, you put in one benefit about your product, and it WizGats it out 10 levels deep. And you talk about like getting down to the nitty gritty of why someone's going to want to buy your product. When you WizGat it out 10 times, 10 levels deep, now you've got the thing you should say first. Instead of telling them all this mumble bumble, you get down to the real thing. This is really why they want to buy your thing. And you only get to that at the end of the WizGat process. So that's what it's for. It's not for you, it's not to create 10 things for you to talk about. It's to cut through all the noise and get to the real thing of what is important about your product. What is so good about that? If you've got that last thing, the what's so good about that, that's 10 levels deep, you don't need to waste time. You don't need to go through the other 9. You need to say, here's what's so great about my product. And they're like, oh shit, yeah, I need that. Let's buy it. So that's the WizGat tool. And you could do that also for your partners. You could figure out what's so good about your offer that would make them want to sell it. Or what's so good about your service that would make someone want to refer you. It's all the same stuff. And literally you could take these tools and you could make one of these things for referral partners. You could make a quantum suite for referral partners, how to get referral partners. Take the same tools, just relabel them, change the fields. Again, it's just semantics. The mechanism is pretty much the same. So hopefully that helps, Sue. Just think about the tools a little bit differently.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to do a training and I want to promote it. So, yeah, Alignable is all about building relationships and networking and stuff and knowing who your referral partner, like who would refer you, who would they refer you to. It doesn't have anything to do about giving anybody money. It's
Yeah.
just that partner that has all your customers. So,
Yep.
I'm gonna we'll talk more about that, creating something for Alignable. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just semantics, it's that's what it comes down to. Pam, go ahead.
Hey, I was looking for the recordings from last week. I did not see the one from Brady yet. Is that coming?
Okay, well, Brady called and asked me where to find it in Zoom, and I said, well, if it's not in Zoom, you probably recorded it to your desktop. So, or he forgot to record it to begin with. Do you guys remember seeing the recording going?
Yeah, apparently Zoom will just download it to your computer after you close it out when you're the
Cor-
host.
Correct. And he was the host
Yeah,
because
figured.
he was logged in as me. So it
Okay.
it should have done that. So I'll ask him. He might
Okay.
just not know where to look for it. If
Right, yeah, that is an issue. I get it. All right, thank you. I just wondered.
if you guys want to know where they are, if you're ever looking for one on your computer, it's in your documents folder, and then there's a folder inside there called Zoom. And then inside that folder, it's got all the dates of the particular recordings. So I'll show him where to find it and see if he can upload that one.
Yeah, you had it in the email you sent earlier, and it actually goes to probably a private YouTube playlist.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We upload all those. I call that the archive.
Okay, very good. Fair
So,
enough. That's where I was looking, and maybe it's somewhere else. So,
yeah. Yeah, that's true too. He might have uploaded it to the wrong archive. So I'll ask him about that one. I think he's taken today off. You guys probably beat him up last week too much. He needs a rest. All right. Okay, so anybody else got anything you want to share?
Brady did a good job, John.
Oh, I know he did. I have total faith in him. Him and Connie both, they know a lot more than they give themselves credit for. They really do. They are great. In fact, Connie has been handling the support tickets for me now for over a year, and I rarely have to deal with anything in support anymore. So she's just got that dialed in.
We call her Connie the Capable.
Yeah, she really is. She is awesome. And she's been with me for a long time. She started working for me back in, I don't know, probably 2009. And so she's got a lot of experience, from listening to me rattle for who knows how many years. All right, Elaine, go ahead.
I just wanted to say hello because it's my first time joining one of your meetings. And so since I'm a newbie face on the screen, I thought that it would be nice to introduce myself. I'm,
Awesome.
I'm dialing in from Northern California,
Okay,
and
cool.
I haven't even gone through the materials yet, so I am super newbie.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome aboard. How did you find us? Was it through Alignable or?
No, I found you through the when your platform was highlighted on one of the Sunday calls, and I joined.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Sounds good. Well,
And I
welcome
also
aboard.
spoke with you in at the event in Vegas.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember
Okay.
that.
Yeah, so I'm being Devin. I bought the membership in his name, so since he doesn't come, I'm like, hey, I paid for it. I'm going.
That's right. He was your son, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember talking to you as we were getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, welcome aboard, and hopefully he gets in here and takes advantage of it because this could really help him build his business and all that. And or
Yeah.
help build your business, whichever way you guys choose to go.
Well, the thing is that, and this is something that I share, loosely with brand new groups, but I also like to be very transparent as an individual. And so I have partnered with my son because I'm actually in recovery from a traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am more of the chief visionary, and he does the heavy lifting.
Awesome.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's that's really cool. And that's really, you can call it, a brain injury or whatever. We've got other people that have the same thing.
Okay.
But I think a lot of high functioning entrepreneurs have the same characteristics of having a brain injury and, recovering from that. And I'm probably one of them. Like, for me to stay focused on something, I need a team of people behind me just to sweep up from the dust I'll kick up. And so there's nothing at all wrong with that. We need visionaries for sure.
Yeah. And
That's
I'm using the AI to augment, because I sometimes I liken it to being like this. The creative side is fine, the planning side is fine, and that's basically who I am.
yeah.
It's just some of those decision-making things, like, leave that stuff. So, that is a lot how a lot of entrepreneurs are. They are, like you said, they're Tasmanian devils, and you need the team.
Yeah, I know I certainly am. I am constantly coming up with stuff. Brady and Connie the other day, they were like, "Oh my God, another one?" Because I keep coming up with new stuff. And I found just this week, I've partnered with another company. They're doing AI video, and these are just short little video clips, but they're more like movie clips. And they're really good. They've got all the different models. And I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put the product out as a free product and give free access to it for movie making, but you have to buy the credits. It runs on credits to actually create the videos. So I'll make a little bit of money on the credits, but it'll be a great lead magnet to get people to opt in to my system. And the more people you can get to opt in, the bigger you grow your database. The bigger you grow your database, the more people you can make offers to, and the more money that you'll make. And we do a thing every year at the end of the year. We have this year-end process, and you don't actually have to wait till the end of the year to do it. You can do it any time. And it's a worksheet that you go through, and it asks you a bunch of questions kind of to review the last 12 months. Like, how many new lead magnets did you make? How many new people opted into your list? How many ads did you put out? How many products did you add to your arsenal? All this different stuff. And when you look at it, you can clearly tell why you made the amount of money you made over the last 12 months. And if you want to make more, all you have to do is improve a couple of things on that list and you will make more money. It's almost guaranteed. But one of the first things is, building the list. How many different things did you offer for free to get people on your list? And, that's kind of the core that everybody talks about. The money's in the list, and, the list is the magic and all that. There's a lot of truth to that because, like I said, the more people that you have to make offers to, you could come up with new stuff like on an ongoing basis, and you don't have to build it. You could find affiliate offers. You could find, like, you might come across, hey, this person's doing something really cool. I can partner with them as an affiliate. I can bring that to my list and I can make money. You could literally make money just referring other people's stuff. And if you have a big list of people that what they're interested in, Now all of a sudden you just start hunting for those for things that they would get benefit from. And the more you connect them, the more money you make. You know, it's like the more useful you are in a business, the more money you should be making. And I use this example of the woman that sold maternity dresses. And she was struggling because she literally couldn't make enough money to support her family selling these dresses. There wasn't enough profit in it. But when I talked to her, I said, "You don't really need to make money on the dress." And she about came unglued. She goes, "No, I have to feed my kids. I need to make money." And I said, "You're looking at it wrong. The dress is just a lead magnet to build your list to an 18-year funnel. All you have to do, you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to buy this maternity dress. You know what's going to happen in 3 to 6 months, right? It's like you have a crystal ball. There's a human being's going to pop out. And this little human being's going to have just an absolute shitload of problems over the next 18 years that money is going to be paid for. So all you have to do, figure out what that timeline looks like, find the people that create those products to solve all those problems and make deals with them. Hey, I can bring people to you. What commission do you pay? And then you have a funnel. And every time it's just like you knew what was going to happen 3 to 6 months later. You know what's going to happen every step of the way with this child. You know there's going to be some teething involved. You know there's going to be diapers needed. You know there's going to be potty training needed. You can literally forecast out 18 years everything that child's going to need. And with that, you can go find the people that supply all that stuff. And you're just creating an automated email sequence that's 18 years long that introduces mom to the next solution to the problem she hasn't encountered yet. How much money could you make over 18 years, even if you didn't make any money on the first sale? So many people lose focus of the lifetime value of the customer. They're just focused on the initial sale. And that is so the wrong way to look at business. If you look at business like that, you're going to be in a constant rat wheel. You're just going to be, chasing the cheese. As soon as you make a sale, that's the end of your that's the end of your life. You have to start over again. That's a horrible way to do business.
John, in all of those tools that you've made with all the really cool names, is one of them like a widget that will make it easy to create you're talking about the mailing list, like to collect the addresses and contact information for like if I want to create blogs, lots of
Mhm.
blogs. And
Okay.
I don't want to necessarily have to build an entire funnel for that. I just want
Gotcha.
to have a widget
Yeah.
for the addresses. Do you have one of those?
So I don't have that's actually a function of a database on a website. So that's a little beyond a widget, but I do have the widget to create what we call lead magnets, which are the freebies to give away to get people to opt in. What I use personally for me, I use a system called Kartra, and it's a software and it basically runs my whole business. It does my shopping cart, it does my membership site, it does all my opt-ins, all my databases. It's like a whole online business in a shell. And some people you might have heard of Go High Level. Go High Level is very similar to Kartra, and it really doesn't matter which one you use. You pick one that works for you, and I would recommend trying to find one that has everything under one lid because you can go and you can piece this together. Like you can go to like a Weber or Constant Contact, and you can do this with those, but that's all it gives you. It's just building a mailing list. There's no shopping cart attached to it. There's no funnel sequence. There's, it's missing a whole bunch of stuff. And as you grow in your business, you'll decide along the way that you need all this stuff. And you start piecing it together and you wind up paying way more and nothing works together. It's all just like duct tape together. It's a mess. So I would really recommend that you find a system that you like that, and for me, it's Kartra. I wouldn't even consider anything else because I know it so well. I've been using it so long. If you're
I imagine you tried other ones. What made you land on Kartra?
I had tried a bunch, and before I had Kartra, I actually was I had all those duct tape together, like I was talking about. So I know the pain of that. And when I tried Kartra, I was very hesitant because, even though I had all this stuff duct taped together, it was working. It wasn't optimal by any means, but it was at least working. And I'm thinking, oh man, I don't want to upset the apple cart. But a friend of mine convinced me to try Kartra, and I did. And man, once I got into it, I started moving things one piece at a time in and then cutting those other payments off. And before too long, I was saving money, moving stuff over, having it all function together. And I'm like, wow, this is really awesome. And then after getting it all moved in, it's like my whole business now is completely automated. Everything's automated. I've got all these lead magnets spread out all over the internet. They're bringing in leads. The leads are taking them to webinars. The webinars are making sales. I've got the bots on the website that can answer questions. The bots are making sales. Uh, it's just really cool. And everything, all the billing is all automated inside. And I've said this several times. I said, man, if you took Kartra away from me right now, I would probably just throw in the towel.
Well, that was a good sales pitch.
Yeah, I mean it's the reality. It wasn't meant to be a sales pitch. The sales pitch really is to find a system. It doesn't have to be Kartra, but the benefit to you guys to go with Kartra is my ability to help you because I know the system like the back of my hand. So if you're in Kartra and you have a problem, I can help you with it. If you're in Go High Level, then you got to find somebody that knows Go High Level to help you with it.
And
So,
that's my issue. I have Go High Level, and I'm like, all I want is this. Can I just have this?
well, if you for any of you guys that are with Go High Level, uh, if you know Perry Belcher has a group. It's $3,000 a year, and it's his mastermind group. And within the group, he gives you access to all of his trainings, all of his seminars. You'd pay that much if you just went to a couple of his seminars. And he does seminars on AI, he does seminars on bots, he does a bunch of seminars throughout the year. But the other thing, he gives you his software, which he's got a branded version of Go High Level. So you get that and you get access to his whole team. They do like weekly calls and weekly open support like this, but specific to Go High Level. So if you're on Go High Level and you need, good support with it and good value, I would recommend that. I have an affiliate link for his thing where I can get you in at that price. If you're interested in that, let me know. But I would seriously, anybody that's going with Go High Level, he offers a level of support for it that's unmatched. I have not seen that level of support through anyone else. And he's also got a bunch of proprietary custom tools that him and his team have developed that are in the Go High Level. They're made specifically for that. So that's my pitch for Go High Level. I'm not going there myself because I'm too intertwined in Kartra and I'm just, immovable as far as that goes. But I'm not against Go High Level if you're already in there and you're using it and you're happy with it, and you want to stick with it, I just would recommend that you connect with a group that will support you.
Well, you're number two for Kartra because I have a business mentor and she's using Kartra and Kajabi. And
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
and she's like, just go with it. Just, and, you know,
Yeah. Well, Kajabi is the predecessor to Kartra.
yeah.
The same developer developed both of them, and I actually was able to talk to the president of Kajabi when I was trying to make my decision, and he literally told me to go with Kartra. He said Kartra is more advanced. He says for what you're going to do, it's a better product. Uh, Kajabi's kind of more low level. If you're just doing basic stuff, it might be easier to use and learn for a beginner, but I'm all about advancing. I want to be able to move people forward and build them into scalable businesses. So he's just said Kartra is a better option. And that was coming from the president of the company. So he only told me that because of our relationship. He knew he couldn't bullshit me. All right, Pam, go ahead.
So I really love what you mentioned about the maternity dress and the whole
Mhm.
story. And now I haven't been able to go through all of the ACT stuff. Is that where I'm going to be able to plot out something like that for what I'm doing? Because I sit here and go, I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the particular lesson in ACT that alludes to that is called the timeline. So basically, on a timeline, when you look at a sale, the person that is going to make that purchase is on a timeline. And, timeline kind of refers to a lot of different things. It can be an NLP thing. But it's the point of where that prospect is in their life, is what I refer to.
Okay.
And they have a problem. If your problem is solved by your product, your solution is on the end of the timeline. So what you need to do is you need to create a marketing campaign that forecasts the story of where they are and where they want to be and how your product gets them there. And if you tell that story that matches up with that timeline, you will be creating demand and desire for the product. You'll be eliminating objections, and then you'll be making an irresistible offer at the end. When they make the purchase, the transformation finishes the timeline, right? They bought the product, they got the outcome out of it, and now they're at square one again. They're on the beginning of the next timeline. And this is with anything. Like if you think about this happens, you have multiple timelines going on every day. You wake up and you're hungry, right? That's the beginning of a timeline that needs to be solved. You're going to eat something. You're going to pay for food unless you're going out killing it. So that's a sale. And then at the end of the timeline, you're satisfied, right? Game over. That timeline's dead now. But guess what? It's going to start again. You're going to start getting hungry again for lunch. So these timelines, if you think about all of your customers are on timelines. Whatever your product is satisfies a timeline, ends the game, and the game starts over. All you need to do is figure out, okay, what's the next timeline? Once they've been satisfied for my product, what do they need next? And then if you want to create that, that's the perfect thing for you to create a new product. And then you can just keep money coming through the door to keep servicing that person for the rest of their life. As long as they live, you should be able to solve problems for them. And the better you get at forecasting the timelines, the more creative you can be at making more and more money from not doing any more sales. I mean, think about that. What would you rather do? Go make another sale or continue having money come through the door for every sale that you ever made in the past?
B.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't get that. They don't look at that. That is called lifetime value of a customer.
I'm getting there.
even if you don't want to create the products, that person is still going to make purchases for the rest of their life. When they buy something from you, you have unlocked a level of trust in them. When they purchase something from you, they would rather, just like you don't want to go make another sale, that's hard work. For them, they don't want to go find another person to trust.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. So when you've got that trust, you make damn sure you don't break it. Do not break the trust or you lose the lifetime value of the customer. They will never come back. It's 10 times harder to regain trust after it's broken. So you make sure you sell, you fulfill, you continue the trust, you protect the trust at all costs, and then you leverage the trust to make the next sale. And it's so easy. They say once somebody's purchased from you once, they'll purchase from you 10 times easier the second time.
Right.
Even if it's not your product. Like the maternity dress gal, she didn't create anything other than maternity dresses.
Mm-hmm.
She just went and found the vendors for all that stuff. And she just made sure that she would email the customer before the next problem happened. She would make them aware that it was coming. They trusted her and they're like, oh yeah, okay, well that sounds logical, reasonable. I believe you. I trust you. And then she'll make the referral to, here's the best solution for this problem when it arises. She just made it easy. That person doesn't have to go find somebody to trust. That relationship's already built. It just makes it easy for that prospect to solve all their problems. And there's huge value in that, as she found with all the money she made in the 18-year funnel. So it really doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you sell, whoever you sell it to, and unless well, there's an exception to this. If you're in the mortuary business, that timeline doesn't go on very long.
Well, but the family will,
Yeah.
need stuff going forward for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe not 18 years, but
Yeah, it's just that creative process of really thinking around this and coming up with lifetime value for every one of your customers. And it really doesn't. It doesn't matter. I can't think of any scenario where you're going to get a customer that customer is not going to buy something else after they're done with you.
okay. Cool.
It's a great way to increase your income. Like, this is what allows me to be so lazy. It really is. This is what allows me to do that. It's just the creative thinking process. It's connecting the dots. I don't have to go build a bunch of new stuff. I don't have to go be an expert in any other industry. I just have to have a basic understanding of who's in my universe and what they need. And then I'm actively looking every day. I'm actively walking through the world going, oh, I see something over here. This part of my group could really use that. I'll make the introduction. If it's right for them, I make a few bucks. And I absolutely love stuff that has recurring revenue models to it. Those are my favorite. I just pitched Kartra to all of you. When I sell Kartra, let's say I refer Kartra to somebody, they buy Kartra. If they buy the low level, it's like $100 a month. I get $40 a month. Guess what? That person starts building their business on there. They're never going to give it up. As long as they're in business, I'm going to keep getting my $40 a month. That's a lot of money over 10 years. I don't look at it as the $40. It's like I at least look at 12 months. So in 12 months, it's what, $480? So every customer I sign up on Kartra, I just look at myself as, I just got a raise. I got an annual bump in my salary of $480. That was pretty cool. How many times a week or a day could I do that? How much money do I want? That tells me how many I need to refer to get on there to get that money. And that goes back to the very first lesson in ACT, which is it's the oh shit, what's it called? The dream mode where you're forecasting your life. You know, the freedom formula. It goes to the freedom formula lesson. And the freedom formula is all about looking at, okay, what do you want out of life? If you could have the perfect life and money wasn't an object, what does that look like? And you assign values to everything in your life of what it would look like. Where would you live? How much would that cost a month? Write it down. What would you drive? What's the monthly cost for that? Write it down. How much would you go out to eat? Write it down. And you come up with a number of this is what your ideal life would cost. And if you do it right, you're going to look at the number and you're going to go, oh my God, that's not even possible. It should be big, right? And then you take that number and you look at, okay, what do I sell? Let's just say Kartra was the only thing I had. So I make $40 a month. You divide the $40 a month into how much that lifestyle costs per month, and you get a number of how many units you have to move. And now all of a sudden, it's just simple math to get you that life that you wanted. And then you look at, okay, well, how do I move those units? And that comes down to marketing. So it's an end-to-end process of how to get you what you want. The ACT program is the vehicle. It's the vehicle to create that life. And it shows you how to even forecast the life to see what it looks like right in the first step. And the reason that that is there in the first step is to motivate you. If you don't have the carrot hanging out in front of you, you probably won't do the hard work. Marketing is not easy. Marketing is a hard process. So if you don't have the carrot, you don't know why you're doing it, you don't know, what the outcome is, you're probably going to give up. You're probably not going to work very hard at it. But if you get in your mind what your ideal life looks like and you go, okay, all I have to do is move this amount of product, here's how I do it, you're probably going to work a lot harder to get it because you know what you're doing. You know why you're doing it. They always say there has to be a why. A lot of people, when you ask them that question, they'll give you the wrong answer. They'll say, well, what's your why? Oh, well, it's my family. No, that's the wrong answer. That's an erroneous thing. That doesn't have a value to it. You need to know what that looks like. Like, tell me, what is it about your family that is your why? Do you want to put your kids through college? Do you want to give them a car when they turn 16? Do you want to make sure they eat at the fanciest restaurants? Do you want to make sure that they go to the best schools? That is an ideal lifestyle. You need to put numbers to that. And now you know what you're working towards, not just my why is my family. That's not exciting. Understanding what the why looks like is exciting. That will motivate you. You'll know what you're doing and truly why you're doing it. And then you'll figure out what it takes and you will go to work to do it. So it's a really cool process. It's really powerful. I wish more people would do it. I've made it as easy as I possibly could. But if you haven't done that, like I know there's a lot of you here that have been with me for a long time. You've probably never gone through and done the freedom formula exercise. I would recommend you give it a shot because it might motivate you to be more productive. It might motivate you to actually build a marketing campaign or actually go through and figure out, am I doing the right thing? Is what I'm doing in alignment with creating that 'Because we talk about first step in the marketing part, that first part, the freedom formula, is the forecasting, that's the motivation, that's, the personal intent, all of that. But the first step in the marketing of actually taking action to make it happen is going in and doing the market segmentation. The market segmentation is kind of your first validator of what if you're on the right track. Because if you don't have a profitable market segment, it's game over. You don't even start. You go back to the drawing board and you make sure that you're starting to build a campaign on a profitable market segment. If you're not, you're just setting yourself up for failure. So again, all the pieces are laid out in a very fashionable order to follow. And if you're out of sequence, you're probably struggling. And if you're struggling, you'll probably give up eventually. And then that's just a waste of your life. Because then you're going to start over, you're going to start something new. And if you didn't learn from your lessons of the past, you'll probably repeat the same thing and fail again. Or you'll just throw in the towel altogether and go get a job. And that just hurts me to even say. That just damages my soul to even think about that. So, all right. So anybody else got anything you want me to hit or cover or? All right. So let me talk a little bit about the AIO. While I was out, I did get a chance. I got like a full day when I could actually go in and finish off the tool set. So for those of you that bought the AIO Dominator package, the tool set now is complete. All of the modules are in. We're working on the Rainmaker for those of you that got into the beta group on that. I haven't had a chance yet to check in with Chris and see how the beta testing is going, but the product, the Rainmaker product that actually sends the user signals to the AI to train it is complete. It's up, it's running, it's functioning. So I need to check in with him on that. What I've kind of decided that I'm going to do, I did this way back when I first started doing internet marketing stuff, is I'm going to create a training program that's similar to what I created for SEO. I created an SEO training program back in like 2009, 2010, something like that. And I'm going to create another one for optimizing for AI. So it'll be the AIO training. And it'll basically give the broad strokes of how it's done. And then it will give the tools to actually do it. And then with the option to upgrade to the Rainmaker software to send the actual signals into the AI. So it'll be 3 pieces. 2 of them will be connected at the hip, which is the training and the tools to generate the codes and stuff to put on your websites. And that covers the on page and the off page. The third piece, just like with SEO, the third piece is the user interaction that actually trains the model of who belongs at the top. That's going to be the third piece, which will be an upgrade. And that's the Rainmaker software. So that's kind of what I'm putting together. That's kind of the next thing on my deck of tools to roll out. That's going to probably roll out pretty quickly. I've got I've got everything all structured and I just have to go in and create the content for the training. But the tools are done, the software is done, things are being beta tested, and we're about to let that rip. The other thing about that, I've decided before I even did it that I don't want to do this work. I don't want, like, I did SEO for years. I do not want to do this as a service. On this one, I'm only providing training and tools. But with that in mind, I'm doing everything white labelable. So if you want to provide training and tools and sell this and make a shitload of money doing it, I'm going to leave that opportunity up to you guys. I'm not going to compete with you. I'm not going to go out and sell this on a grand scale like I could. I'm going to leave that for you guys. So even the training, I'm not going to be on any of the training. I'm going to get the scripts and I'm going to pump them into AI and use an AI voice to do the training. So it'll be completely white labelable. So you'll be able to put your brand on it and sell this as though you're an AIO expert. You'll be able to offer the training, the tools, and even the Rainmaker will be white label available. So for anybody that wants to start up an agency or even a training agency to sell to agencies, that will be something that will be available to you. So again, another reason why there's no reason you shouldn't be making money. So I don't know what to say even beyond that. So you'll have the
What's the
whole
timeline?
About,
What's the
thank
timeline,
you.
John? When is it going to be? When is it going to be released, or when is this about? When are you going to ring the bell and open the door?
well, the tools are ready now. That's ready to go. That's white labelable. What I'm waiting on is the training. I'm gonna probably start working on that this week. And I don't think it's gonna take me that long. So you're you're probably where are we at? The end of March is like right in front of us. So I would say probably end of April, I should have everything wrapped up, ready to go. But that doesn't mean you can't start selling it now. That doesn't mean that you can't white label the tool set, start getting ready. Um, the the software actually, I haven't created a sales page for it yet, but it's ready to go. It's saleable already. It's white labelable already. So literally the only thing I'm missing is the training. I don't think that's going to take me long because I'm going to pipe it out through AI. It's all going to be AI video training.
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I white label the AI Dominator.
Okay.
How do I go in there and set it up?
Okay.
I mean,
Shoot me an email. I have a PowerPoint document and I have a PDF document where I go through every step by step, every click, everything you need to do.
okay, you have the same for AI Quantum also?
It's the exact same document.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're virtually the same platform. It's just a different tool set. And that's a testimony to the fact that you could take that and white label it and create it into anything you want. You can use the God mode to create any tool set. So all of the tools inside the AIO Dominator platform, it was the quantum base framework. We just stripped out all the quantum tools and added in all the AIO Dominator tools.
Okay, one other question.
Mhm.
I purchased the Act Quantum. I got the AI Dominator. I
Okay.
have Pledge and I have Deal.
Okay.
So now, do I still need Deal and Pledge having
You
having what I bought from you?
You probably don't because they have everything in there that those base platforms have already. So yeah, you can drop those off if you want.
Cool.
So mine are basically done off of those layers and it's just got everything I've done added on top of it. So it's like instead of you taking the base platform and starting from scratch, you're taking the level I've built it to and you're starting from there as your base platform.
All right.
So that'll save you some money, hopefully.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Hey,
time.
John.
Yeah, Gwen, go ahead.
My question simply, how does this affect those of us that currently have site pop clients?
It doesn't SitePop is still there. We did change up some of the SitePop stuff. If you're using SitePop with the Google, nothing changed.
Mm-hmm.
We did update the
Okay.
platform to get around some of the new Google stuff, but that really, there's no change on your part for that. If you were doing the Amazon or the Bing or the GMB, we've basically dropped those out of the program. So we've got,
Okay. And I did hear that you added an AI
yeah,
portion to it.
yes, and the AI edition, that's an upgrade that we're calling the Rainmaker. We're bringing the Rainmaker back into the program.
That's what I was asking because you were talking Rainmaker, and I'm like, wait, that's Site Pop.
Yeah, yeah, it's the AI piece to SitePop. So there's no change if you're using YouTube or Google in SitePop, there's no changes to those. Those are still in running, no changes. If you were using the GMB, what we found was people that are using the Google attached to the GMB site were getting the same benefit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't necessary. It
Hmm.
was a real pain to keep up with all their API adjustments. And quite honestly, there wasn't enough people in our whole network using Bing and Amazon to even make the development worthwhile. So we just dropped those out. Focused all of our efforts now moving
Okay.
forward on Google, YouTube, and AI.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm excited to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. But no problem with your existing customers on the site pop for Google and YouTube.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. All right. Anything else here before we wrap up? But you kind of know my game plan here, moving, rolling new stuff out, and some of you probably don't have any interest in optimization, and that's okay. We'll stick to the marketing for you.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I was on YouTube and I came across this GPT called Manus. It's
I
supposed to put deep seek to shame. I wanted to
Okay.
know if you heard about it because you got to get invited just to use it
Yeah,
and stuff. And you being a influencer, you'd probably have a better chance of getting in there than I would.
yeah, I have heard of it. I haven't done it yet. I haven't played around with it. But I can take a look. If you know the place where you or where you request an invite, I can certainly do that. But yeah, I haven't really had much time lately to devote to digging up new stuff like that. But there's a lot, like anything at all that has to do with AI today, plan on it changing tomorrow. And it's only getting better. It's really, the thing is growing at such a fast clip. And the people, when I say the people, I'm talking about the people that are your prospects that will want it, that you can sell services and products to. They're moving way slower than the industry itself, which is really cool. And even the people that are building stuff to sell to them, it's also new that it's like the bluest water you're ever going to see. This is kind of like, when I first got into internet development and building websites, it was like magic. Everyone knew they wanted it, but nobody knew how to do a website. They didn't know anything about it. They didn't know how to buy a domain. They didn't know how to get a hosting account. They knew nothing about it, nor did they want to. They just wanted the problem solved. They wanted a website. It was so easy to get website work back then. All you had to do is show up and offer, hey, I can build a website for you. Great. How much does it cost? And who do I write the check to? Literally, it was that easy. And that's where you are with this AI stuff. Everybody's heard of it now. They're either, a lot of people are scared of it. And the one thing that I have thrown out that really kind of it takes their fear and it changes it into greed. And this is a very powerful thing if you're trying to sell something, to change fear into greed. And what I say to do that is I say, you know, you probably think that AI is going to take your job. And the truth of the matter is, AI isn't going to take any jobs. But the person that knows how to use AI, they're going to take your job and they're going to take a lot of people's jobs. And that could be you. So it took their fear of losing a job to greed of, oh my God, I could take all these people's jobs. Boom, just like that. It's a really good shift. If you want to get somebody interested in buying your AI products, that's a really good way to do it. And it's really quick. So you just turn their fear into greed, and you can do it just that fast. And they get it too. It's like I have had so many people come back to me and tell me, when you said that thing about, AI is not going to take our jobs, that really clicked. That really resonated. So it's very clear messaging. It's very easy to understand, and it does the job really well. So that's a great lead in if you want to get somebody interested in buying your AI products. So, all right. Well, cool stuff. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head here to cover today unless there's any other questions. We'll go ahead and wrap her up for today. Anything else going? All right. Cool. Well, we have our next event coming up on the boat on next Friday, not tomorrow, but next Friday. And we do have one opening on that. They couldn't come on that one, so they're going to move to the next one. So I do have an opening on that. If you're interested, shoot me an email. It's john@internetdominators.com. And outside of that, we will talk to you guys next week, next Thursday. See you later.